Reb Shimon was one of the students of the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh who wanted to come to Eretz Yisrael. And he had all his plans ready, and he came to the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh to get a bracha, to receive a blessing. And the Baal Shem Tov said to him, Shimon, I'm giving you all the brachas in the world, but I'm begging of you, please be careful with every word that comes out of your mouth. In general, but specifically while you're there. Please be very conscious of every answer you give to any question that you're asked. No problem. Thank you, Rebbe. Thank you for the brachas. And Reb Shimon goes to Eretz Yisrael. And this Reb Shimon traveled the land and was so thankful for this incredible privilege that he had back then, which was quite a novelty for someone to travel from so far to reach the Holy Land. And on his last day at Eretz Yisrael, he comes to say goodbye to the place where the Shekhinah has never left, the makom of Kedusha, of the Kotel. And as he's at the Kotel, he sees a certain Yidla that's leaning on the wall, weeping and crying, davening very strong, and this person turns around. He sees Reb Shimon is dressed a little bit differently than locals. So he asked him, oh, Shalom Aleichem, where are you from? He says where he's from. And he asks him, he says, is there still war in the world? Is there peace in the world? Or is there war in the world? And Shimon says, well, there's war in the world, but we've managed that despite there being war, we still managed to get by. Then this holy Jew that was crying turns to Reb Shimon again and says to him, are Jews still being persecuted in the world? And Reb Shimon says, yes, but we're managing. But we're managing. Baruch Hashem, we're managing. Okay. Reb Shimon looks up at the Kotel, wants to continue davening. He opens his eyes, and this guy is gone. Okay. He comes back to the Baal Shem Tov. And the Baal Shem Tov looks at Shimon, and Shimon thought that Baal Shem Tov would be so excited to hear all about his trip, not realizing the Baal Shem Tov knew exactly what happened to him. And the Baal Shem Tov looks at him and says, Reb Shimon, why didn't you listen to what I said to you? He said, what do you mean? He said, there was one person, Reb Shimon, right? There was one person that last day that you were at the Kotel that asked you questions and you weren't so careful with your answers. And Reb Shimon's trying to remember, and he says, oh yeah, there was one person. He actually asked me some very heartbreaking questions. Yes, and what did you answer, Reb Shimon? He asked me how bad it is and if Jews are being persecuted, and what did you tell him? I told him it's bad, and yes, we're being persecuted, but we're managing. We're managing. And the Baal Shem Tov said to Reb Shimon, don't you know that was Avram Avinu? He wanted to see if we're not managing, if we're done with making it in exile. But you told him, we're making do in exile. It's hard, but we're managing. Oh, friends, as much as someone asks you how you doing, and it's okay to say, it's good to say, Baruch Hashem, thank God. But can we really continue living by just managing in a world without Mashiach?